If the United States, the backbone of the global economy, enters into a deep recession, the domino effect could be catastrophic. The impact won't stay within American borders, it will thunder across continents, shaking the financial foundations of countries that rely on the US to survive. In this video, we are revealing the 10 countries that are so economically entangled with the United States that a downturn in Wall Street could mean chaos on their streets, collapse in their markets, and a crisis for their people. Number 10, Mexico. Mexico is not just America's neighbor, it's one of its largest trading partners, with over 80% of Mexican exports flowing directly into the United States. Any disruption in American demand will be felt immediately across the border. From auto parts to agriculture, if US consumers stop spending, Mexico's factories could fall silent, jobs could vanish overnight, and the peso could plunge, dragging millions into economic despair. Number 9, Canada. Canada may seem stable, but its economy is deeply linked to its southern neighbor. The US is Canada's number one trade partner, importing everything from oil and gas to cars and timber. A sudden slowdown in US growth would shake Canada's GDP, shrink its export revenues, and pressure its already overheated housing market. The Canadian dollar would weaken, investor confidence would fall, and an economic chill could freeze Canadian progress. Number 8, China. China's rise as a global manufacturing hub is heavily funded by American consumption. The United States is one of China's largest export markets, especially for electronics, apparel, and machinery. If US demand collapses, Chinese factories would face massive order cancellations, layoffs would surge, and supply chains would snap, with youth unemployment already soaring and a real estate crisis brewing. A US recession could tip China into a deeper internal crisis. Number 7, Vietnam. Vietnam has emerged as the alternative to China for global manufacturing, attracting billions in foreign investment, most of it serving the American market. But this rapid growth comes with risk. If the US economy contracts, American companies would reduce imports, cancel production orders, and shift spending, putting thousands of Vietnamese workers at risk and halting the nation's economic momentum overnight. Number 6, Philippines. The Philippines is uniquely vulnerable. Its economy depends not only on exports like semiconductors and garments, but also heavily on remittances from millions of Filipino workers abroad, especially in the United States. If a recession hits the US, job losses for overseas workers would spike, remittances would drop drastically, and millions of Filipino families would lose their primary source of income, plunging the nation into a financial emergency. Number 5, South Korea. South Korea is a tech titan and export leader, with major corporations like Samsung, LG, and Hyundai relying on strong US consumer demand. If the American economy falters, South Korean exports of cars, electronics, and appliances would drop sharply. This would hit GDP growth, shrink industrial production, and spark a crisis in South Korea's already volatile stock markets, putting its innovation-driven economy under serious threat. Number 4, Japan. Japan, already dealing with one of the oldest populations on Earth and decades of slow growth, cannot afford another shock. A US recession would devastate Japan's exports of cars, electronics, and machinery. With limited internal demand and high national debt, Japan's central bank would struggle to respond, leading to prolonged deflation, rising public anxiety, and a deepening economic freeze that could last for years. Number 3, Germany. Germany's industrial economy is built on exports, and the US is one of its top clients. From luxury cars to high-tech equipment, Germany's dependence on American demand is critical. A recession in the US would slam German manufacturers, reduce employment in major cities like Munich and Stuttgart, and threaten the EU's fragile economic balance. If Germany slows, the rest of Europe may follow. Number 2, United Kingdom. Post-Brexit, the UK has become even more exposed to external financial shocks, especially from the US. A Wall Street crash would send shockwaves through London's financial institutions, trigger capital flight, and batter the British pound. The housing market could collapse, inflation could rise, and millions could face economic hardship as credit dries up and investments vanish overnight. Number 1. Brazil. Brazil, South America's largest economy, is heavily reliant on both U.S. investment and commodity exports. If American demand for agricultural goods, oil, and metals drops, Brazil's economy could shrink rapidly. Investor panic could trigger currency collapse, inflation could spike, and social unrest could erupt in major cities. With political divisions already high, a U.S. recession could be the spark that ignites national instability in Brazil. When America stumbles, the world shakes. One recession in the U.S. could spark a global meltdown, crippling economies, collapsing currencies, and triggering unrest. You've just seen how deeply these 10 countries are tied to the fate of the U.S. economy. The question now is, how prepared are we for the storm ahead? If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, drop a comment below and tell us, which country do you think would collapse first? And don't forget to subscribe for more hard-hitting videos that reveal the truth behind global headlines. We bring you the stories that matter before they make the news. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed,